in the end was about technology keeping pace with the changes in the market. I think there again the technological advances have really been quite beneficial, because today there are options available where plug and play you can switch from one platform to the other. It's become relatively easier, unlike a power plant, where if you have a coal-based power plant and if you want to switch over to hydro-based power plant, I think the cost is going to be enormously large. To that extent, I think we are on brighter days, and I love this mobile phone analogy, and I'd seen some of those earlier models. Holding a brick was a little easier compared to holding a mobile phone in those days. So it was not just the cost, but even the weight and the shape. Everything was such. From there, where we have come, I think similar way, the changes which are happening in the advisory space should enable us to take that customer experience the same route as mobile. And if that happens, then I think last year the theme that we had was 4 crore customers. Fulfilling that dream should not be a problem. With that note, thank you very much. And do we have time for questions? No, we don't have time for questions. So we can take the questions offline.
If you just allow me, I just want to sum up, all that is going on in my mind. I just want to sum up from the IFA's point of view or from a financial advisor's point of view. The Naya Tarika is not an either-or relationship between technology and high touch. To my mind, it is a necessary combination of high tech and high touch. If you can marry the two, you will be in good place as a financial advisor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just a couple of minutes. I would like to thank all 4 of them, and especially John and Ajit, because they are a big supporter to us, and they supported in each of the occasions. Whenever we have challenges, we go to them and they come out with some good idea. So they need a big round of applause. And to Amit also, because we treat him as our mentor, and we regularly meet and develop some good idea, which that's why we are over here. Thanks for the...
Thank you, gentlemen. We are coming to end of the session. And before that, let us, no jokes now, sorry. Let us see, pizza always confuses us. You know that? Pizza always confuses us. It comes in a square box. When you open it, it is round. When you about to eat it, it is triangle. That's life and your client. Okay? Always like a different, your clients look different, appear different, and behave absolutely different. And one important announcement, see, you are all the advisors present here, next advisor team, instant photograph is available outside the hall. We have an half an hour gap in between the next session. You can take your photographs there. 1 photograph per IFA is allowed. Yeah. We will start back in another 20 minutes from now. The next session will start 20 minutes. We have a gap. The hall to be vacated out, and a lot of changes going to happen here. And instant photograph I have told you. And a school bell sounds irritating at 9 a.m. A school bell irritates at 9 a.m. but the same sound melodious at 4 p.m. Now it is 6:45, it's melodious. Bye-bye.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming here and making this occasion very special for us. I would like to introduce to you Dr. Mukund Rajan. Dr. Mukund Rajan, 45, is a member of the Group Executive Council at Tata Sons Limited, and he is also the Tata Sons brand custodian and group spokesperson. Additionally, he serves as Chief Ethics Officer of the group and oversees all corporate social responsibility activities as chairman of the Tata Council for Community Initiatives. Dr. Rajan joined Tata through Tata Administrative Services in January 1995. He was assigned to the office of the then chairman of Tata Sons, Mr. Ratan Tata, in 1996, where he served for 12 years. In January 2008, Dr. Rajan was appointed Managing Director of Tata Teleservices Maharashtra. He subsequently moved to Tata Capital in 2010, where in his last role, he was the head of private equity advisory and managing partner of the advisory team of the Tata Opportunities Fund, a private equity fund sponsored by the company. Dr. Rajan has served on the boards of various Tata companies, including Tata Teleservices, Tata Communications, Roots Corporation, and PM Hotels. He was also the president of the Association of Unified Access Service Providers of India, one of the principal telecom industry associations in India. He currently serves as a non-executive director on the boards of Lakshmi Machine Works and Aspiring Minds. In 2007, the World Economic Forum honored Dr. Rajan as a young global leader. He was also part of the inaugural class of CII Aspen Institute India Leadership Initiative. Dr. Rajan graduated from the Bachelor of Technology program at the Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, in 1989. He received a Rhodes Scholarship to study at Oxford University, where he completed a master's and doctorate in international relations. There is one thing which I want to share which is not written here. You know, special thanks to him because he was called to Dehradun by his corporate about 2 days back. And in spite of his busy schedule, he's come here. And Tata, due to their social responsibility, they have taken upon themselves to do something for Uttarakhand, which none of us are aware of. But hats off to him, and please claps. Dr. Rajan, please.
Thank you. I first have to apologize for my dress. I just came from the airport, in fact. I spent the last day and a half in Dehradun, where we are undertaking a fairly substantial rescue program, rehabilitation work that is ongoing and will continue, in fact, for quite some time. I think for those of you who've been obviously seeing the news, watching television, seeing stuff on the internet, you would have seen that it's a pretty grave situation for the state. It is largely dependent on tourism, and I think for this year at least we can say goodbye to the tourist income. There are many villages that have been washed away, people who are missing. Even the reports about who is missing are still coming in because many of the villages are interconnected, and unless somebody upstream or downstream is able to inform the police or the district collectors that so and so or these families or this township people are not there, even the state government will not know and only find out maybe down the line. So I think things are going to be coming out over the next few weeks, which will probably paint a much grimmer situation than what we've seen so far. And the important activities, I think, in the next few months will be reconstruction, particularly before the onset of winter, because many people have lost their dwellings and they will need help to rebuild their homes. And then rehabilitation and skill development, because as I said, the tourist economy has vanished for this year. So how do people earn an income? Where do they get cash from to support themselves and their families for the next year, year and a half? So we will be doing our bit as the Tata Group. We already have a substantial presence on the ground in Dehradun through the Ratan Tata Trust. There's a foundation called Himothan, and they in turn coordinate the activities of several dozen NGOs all across Uttarakhand. So we work in partnership with them, and then we also have a construct called the Tata Relief Committee, which operates out of Jamshedpur and is manned by personnel from Tata Steel. They are also on the ground. In fact, their advanced team has already gone on some rescue missions led by the mountaineer Bachendri Pal, who many of you will know was the first Indian woman to climb Mount Everest. So she heads a foundation called the Tata Adventure Foundation, and she and her team have gone trekking to the areas that are currently inaccessible in Uttarkashi. We'll be taking up work in Uttarkashi, in Pithoragarh, and in Rudraprayag. So 3 of the districts that have been the worst hit, and we'll be undertaking some activity there. That's probably a good way to sort of slide into the way I've structured my talk today. My friend Arvind Sethi, who's the CEO of Tata Asset Management Company, initially said that the organizers of this event would like you to speak about the Tata brand. So I had a presentation, the brand ready. And then later he said, they're a little intrigued with the various titles you hold. And if you could set that in some context, that may be more interesting. So in point of fact, I hold 3 titles. I'm the Chief Ethics Officer of the Tata Group. I'm also the brand custodian, and I'm also the chairman of the Tata Council for Community Initiatives. And you might well ask, what's the connect between ethics, brand, and CSR? And the fact actually is, it is quite central to the way Tatas think about the Tata brand. That we do see the brand resting on these 3 pillars of good ethical conduct, of obviously all the functionalities that go into creating and sustaining a brand, and our view of how the brand needs to link with the work we do for the community, which is what we're trying to do in Uttarakhand, for instance. So let me maybe go back in history a little bit and talk about how this has really come about. Our commitment to CSR really goes back to our founder, Jamsetji Nasarwanji Tata, J.N. Tata. And he really believed that business had to be truly rooted, grounded in the community. And without the community, there will be in fact no business. And it stands to reason. I mean, the community includes your investors, people like you, the investment advisors, shareholders, bankers, and perhaps most importantly, customers. So without them, you won't have a business. So he in fact said, and I quote, in a free enterprise, the community is not just another stakeholder in business, but is in fact the very purpose of its existence. So I think that's a very fundamental statement, and that would explain a lot of why Tatas behave the way we do. So we are saying that in fact the community is the purpose of our existence. So without it, we do not exist. And Jamsetji Tata really proved this with many of his deeds. Many of you may be aware of the J.N. Tata endowment and the scholarships it offers to Indian students who want to go overseas. A large number of Indians have benefited from these scholarships over the years, including people like our former president, K.R. Narayan, former Director General of CSIR, Mr. Marshalkar. These were scholarships created in 1892, at a time when for Indians to go abroad was almost unthinkable, and to further study and secure master's degrees, doctoral qualifications was very rare and very difficult. But he did it because he felt that Indians need to have the best chance. And he created this endowment which was offered to anybody, regardless of caste or creed, to pursue higher studies. And it's something that has continued for the last 120 years. Another venture of his, which I'm not sure how many of you would be aware of, he effectively gave away half his personal fortune as a bequest. This is in 1898, what then was 3 million Indian rupees, which in today's terms would be a colossal sum, towards the setting up of what eventually became, unfortunately after he died, the Indian Institute of Science in Bengaluru, IISc, was in fact his foundation, his creation, and it was set up in 1911. Jamsetji had 2 sons, Dorabji and Ratanji, and both of them really continued the father's view of business, its rooting in the community. So if you look at, for instance, what they did with Tata Steel, a company that really was created, the vision was established by the father, but the sons are the one who actually saw through the creation of the plant in what then became named as Jamshedpur, as a tribute to the memory of Jamsetji Tata. And Tata Steel, you will find, was really ahead of its times in many of the ways in which they looked at business practices. They were the first to institute the 8-hour working day in 1912, pretty much as soon as the plant started. This became a law only in 1948 in India. They provided things like free medical aid, schooling facilities for children, leave with pay. The Workers' Provident Fund scheme, again 30 years before it became law in India, was provided in Tata Steel. Maternity benefit, profit sharing bonus. So you can see that the sons really imbibed the father's philosophy. You can also see it in the way Jamshedpur as a city itself was planned. Wide roads, a lot of parks, a lot of greenery, many schools, many places of worship, because Jamshedji in his will, in fact, almost mandated to his sons that they needed to create an environment where the quality of life would be superior to anything that people who lived there had experienced elsewhere. These two sons, also much like the father, decided to give away most of their wealth, and that led to the creation of the Sir Dorabji Tata Trust and the Sir Ratanji Tata Trust.